expecting something similar here.
Well, let's see how they do. They know each other, like you say, very, very well. The blue team on your screens with the random chicken hats on is Dirtnap Gaming, and the red team is Good Game University, formerly Team Dynamic. If you are unaware of the changes that happen in esports, keep yourselves up to date. We will try and keep you up to date as well. Wards being placed out, chat. Doesn't look like it's going to be a level 1 fight. Looks like it's going to be a standoff again.
These are very defensive formations by them, but actually not a huge amount of wards placed quite yet. 3 wards by GGU and 2 wards by DNG.
Apparently the random chicken hats is the synergy between the jungler and the AD carry. I'm not so sure about that. That's just, I think they're just wearing stupid hats.
And I heard it was, yeah, that's not even true because it's the synergy between Prawley and their jungler. That's where all the ganks come in. They just want an excuse to wear hats.
They just want an excuse to wear hats, but they've done it, I don't know.
It's consistent, actually. He did an interview in that hat.
There is one. There is one hat.
Yeah, there's JD Wu.
That's not Prawley.
No, that's definitely not Prawley.
That's definitely not Prawley, so it must be the ADC and jungler.
It's got to be. And you can see a lot of times how teams sit. It's very interesting. Usually the person who calls a lot of the tactics is in the middle. But Prophet is the tactical caller in picks and bans. He's farthest right on the desk. He is the support player. The AD carries right next to him. That's very common when you sit. Prawley makes a lot of the mid-game calls, and he's in the mid lane. A lot of times Reginald would sit mid for TSM. Then aside from that, you see jungler right beside him because that's where he ganks the most frequently. And then top lane because they're always off on their own. They're on their island.
And
they
that's
usually sit on the
you
end.
always think you see Dyrus on the end of the line,
Usually.
etc. You'll always see the top lane on the center. It's a standard line out. Apart from Dignitas. Dignitas always switch it around. Did they do that when you were there?
Dignitas is annoying.
They will switch it around all over the place.
They give away their strategies, though, because they
it's like where they're
sit
going to sit today.
in relation to lanes. Seriously, they sit in relation to lanes. If Scar plans a bottom, like he plans to play bottom and they want their AD carry support, they're like, hold on, we all have to move around now. It's like,
so there's things to look forward to in Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. If you see the camera angle come in and Scar is on the end, you know what's coming.
You're like, he's going bot.
He's going bot.
It's
Everybody knows it's a tell. It's a pretty obvious tell. Scar's going to be watching this thinking, damn it, they're onto me.
Giving away our secrets, we can't do that anymore.
Season 3 secrets given away already before season even starts. So, we are back underway, ladies and gentlemen. The pause has been cleared. And we do see pings coming out. And actually, Dirtnap Gaming is starting to gather in the mid. We're going to see a late invade.
We may just... There's so many wards, though, I don't see this happening. Zion Spartan couldn't quite... He tried to get in an auto-attack reset from his Shunpo to hit it 3 times, but he couldn't quite get there.
And he just managed to eat a couple of glitter lances. And basic attacks from Prophet. The axe being picked up by Chris, so no surprise, really. It'll be interesting to see when the lanes do start to level themselves out. We'll take a look at that in a moment. We are at 1 minute 40, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any late invades for either teams. It does look like, though, there's been a bit of a change around in the lanes.
Got Vayne and Nunu sitting up top, already taking double golems. Going to try to shut down Chris's Olaf in the top lane, but that's a little bit curious because we know how good of a duo laner like Olaf is. People pick Olaf specifically a lot of times to do lane swaps, but they're going straight into it. They're going to allow Zion Spartan to just have to deal with a Lulu Graves 1v2 lane, which is a tall task. However, we actually see Don't Mash Me and I Manjo running in, maybe trying to put some harassment on blue buff or ward it. Now they back away.
Yeah, and Chris had that ward there, so he was well prepared to help out his jungler if needed. Of course, they realized that Nocturne was going to start on the red buff. He's now moved up to the blue. Keep an eye on the opposition jungler as well. Nintendo Dex moving up slowly towards it. But the red buff is warded. So do you think we're going to see anything here from maybe JD Wu to head off as soon as he gets it?
If he could get there really fast, he's probably going to end up smiting this blue buff, though, so he's not going to have the ability to go over and steal Nintendo Dex's red. The main knowledge that buff is going to provide, though, is just going to let everyone know, especially this bot lane of Echo and Prophet, that Shen is nowhere near and they can continue to push like this.
So they keep the pressure on down the bottom lane and take us through it. There's Nintendo Dex. He's going to pick up that buff. There he does. He smites it away as well. Let's go through the lanes from top to bottom, shall we? Olaf to start with. Chris versus Nunu and Vayne in the top.
So this is a big lane for Don't Mash Me to get farmed on Vayne. Nothing's going to stop him from getting last hits. Once he gets fed with the Nunu, the Blood Boil will be huge for him. I don't think they have a huge amount of kill potential. They don't have a huge amount of shove potential. Nunu being a melee support doesn't really allow them to get tower damage. But it's a farm lane for Vayne.
So don't mash me. You can see immediately trying to put as much damage as he can on Chris, but Chris quite happy to set that one out. Back in towards the middle, it is Karthus versus Kassadin. This is a battle we used to see way back in Season 1.
And it's a constant debate what wins against this. Some people say Kassadin's a hard counter to Karthus. Other people say Kassadin can't survive until 6. So Karthus does have the edge before 6. He's got the huge range with farming. He's going to keep Prawley back to his turret at all moments. But once Prawley hits level 6, he can blink right on top of Karthus and really just destroy him with mobility. Going to be very interesting to watch that. Kassadin seeing a resurgence in Season 3 with that Crystalline Flask, able to sustain the early weak laning phase of Kassadin.
One of the classic moments for that, to me, is Alex Each versus Froggen and DreamHack Summer. It was a Kassadin Karthus lane. In that moment, Karthus won out. We'll see how that works out. Froggen was the winner there. This bottom lane, though, Lulu Graves really going to be poking a heck of a lot on Nintendo Dex, who's having to come down and help already.
And you can see this lane is about tower pushing. They almost have it right here. Nintendo Dex trying to go down, making them fall back.
Zion Spartan manages to get on towards Prophet, the Ignite on Prophet, and Nintendo Dex just not close enough, and really just forcing him away, trying to hold out on this turret as long as they can.
It's not going to be much longer unless Nintendo Dex decides to live in this lane. That's why it's kind of dangerous to 1v2 against a Lulu and Graves. That's really the ultimate shove lane that's going to take your turret as soon as possible, and it seems like they're well on pace to do so.
We've seen JD Wu joining the top lane as well. He's starting to put pressure down. Chris is backing, but hasn't gone completely yet. He might get caught just before he goes away. No, finally does go back. So just push that lane out a little bit so he can go back and buy.
And we take another look bottom. Nintendo really making sure he shoves out for Zion Spartan. They don't want to lose that turret that early to DirtNF Gaming. That would really allow Lulu and Graves to start shoving around, especially because that means the 1v2 laning phase is over for Vayne, who they want to get as much farm as possible.
So they're trying to keep him down there as long as possible. Like you mentioned, that looking across the items and everybody really going for those crystalline flasks right now.
This is the most crystalline flasks I've actually seen a team start the game with. There's 4 of them on DirtNap Gaming. Only person who didn't get one was Nocturne, and he could have if he went utility spec on Nocturne, but that's a bit of a gimmick. You look across the board and there's only 1 on Good Game University, so right at the start of the laning phase, DirtNet Gaming put ever so slight of a disadvantage on themselves investing in those flasks, but they're not really down in gold here, only 200. It might pay off for them later in the game.
Yeah, and how do you see the balance between those currently?
Oh, wow.
Oh, Chris going in towards Don't Match Me. He does manage to catch the axe. He's had to cleanse it off.
One more
Is it going to
shot.
be enough? One more shot. Misses the axe, so dodges out of it. Oh, he can't quite get close enough. Didn't have the mana to do the... Oh, he lacked on the mana. He managed to try and get the Q and still didn't have the range. JD Wu was coming. It was just too late.
Really, though, a lot of aggression by Chris, showing you why Olaf is such a great 1v2 laner. I mean, 25 minion kills, and 25 minion kills to Katarina as well. She was able to farm her turret, but it ended up falling.
Ended up falling. There is the first turret of the game. DirtNap Gaming picking that up, obviously taking the gold advantage alongside it. But what I was about to bring your attention to was the difference between, we've seen a lot of the tops actually stacking out the 9 health pots compared to a crystalline flask.
And those are mainly on top laners who have no mana involved in their play, because they feel it's inefficient to keep stacking up the 40 mana every time you consume a flask, so they just go for the huge amount of health potions. Olaf, actually needing a fair amount of mana if he's looking to farm with maxed axes, wants the flask and a bunch of health potions on top of that, so it's a smarter move for Chris to get that item.
So as we see, the change has come in. Prophet and Echo head towards the top there with Graves and Lulu, and they're going to come up against I Am Anju and Don't Match Me. So the trade-off has kind of backfired for GGU.
It seems like it, at least in the interim, unless they can turn this into some kind of kills or some kind of tower pushes. That was pretty bad because their turret's down. They only got a third of the enemy top turret, and now they're stuck in a 2v2 against Lulu and Graves, who I think, if DirtNap Gaming plays it right, they should be able to punish Don't Mash Me a little bit.
And we'll see whether they do. They're very even in gold. As it is, Shifter's coming across. He's going to pick himself up the blue. You can see the gold count there on your screens. 2,200 to just 200 gold advantage for currently Don't Mash Me on this top lane. That's probably down to the fact that he's just come in and cleaned out a couple of waves on the top there. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is very much even as well. They've managed to break even across the board. The mid lane, just 200 gold, slight advantage to Prolly currently.
I gotta say, Prolly's winning that mid lane. He's up 51 to 49 on Karthus, and he just hit his sweet spot. He can do that every time he wants, especially once he's going to get that blue buff that JD Wu's going to give him shortly in the jungle, and continue to force Shifter back over and over again.
It's going to get very annoying for him, I feel. we'll see how that works out. And Shifter immediately is responding to this. He's just backing straight up to his turret. So let's have a look towards the top turret. You can see they're actually starting to push there. We do see Prolly heading up that way. Nintendo, though, on the red buff, could come around and try and steal it away. Wow. He wards it and goes, whoa, what do you know?
There's a Shen there.
Yeah, no, what do you know? There's a Shen there. I think, has he backed into it? I'm not sure if there's vision, whether he can quite see it. He must have been able to. Oh, because the blue buff calls come out from JD Wu.
Right. He wanted to be able to pick up his own blue. Shen is quite tanky just almost innately because of the spammability of Feint. So he didn't want to mess with Nintendo X in the jungle. He knew there were an 80 carry and a Nunu that would come down if he decided to harass Nintendo X. It got them good vision and knowledge, but he still had to get back there for the blue.
Yeah, and Echo's going to be well aware of the fact that Shen is there. Now they're going to come in. They're going to be a little bit close. There's a lot of damage. That's the ultimate from Don't Mash Me. He's going to try and go for this one. He's going to have to switch into Prophet, but immediately got away from it. Flash was burned.
And that was a little surprising that they decided to get up so far. They're really trying to just outshove Don't Mash Me and I Am Anjo in this lane because Nunu and Vayne do not push well. So Echo and Prophet consider if they just shove the lane back, they're going to be able to get more farm than Vayne.
Yeah, Zion Spartan going for Chris there. Chris actually stopped, and I think he started to dance then. I'm almost certain that was he definitely stopped to do something because he was like, yep, this ulti is doing nothing to me. I'm perfectly safe.
Zion Spartan, though, even with that ulti not doing that much to Chris, really getting a bit of a lead in that lane. 66 to 46 between Katarina and Olaf, meaning that Chris not doing that well now. They swap back to 1v2, which makes me question why they would have done the lane swap in the first place.
Because it seems to be backfiring. Probably he's about to walk straight through a Tribush ward, and you can see immediately the pings go down. Don't Mash Me has completely backed away with I Am Anjo, and they've stepped well away from that turret, and they're going to have to just reset. So, Jan, is there anything you're going to see coming from this one, apart from the fact that we could see it gank down the bottom?
The biggest thing that's happening right now is Nintendo X is trying to counter gank, and there could be a Shao coming in here.
And there's JD Wu. That's going to be Stan United coming in on towards Zion Spartan. Is it going to be enough? Chris is going to get caught out. That's going to be the Cartons also, and the Requiem does go down. First Blood turns it into a second. Double kill for Nintendo X.
Counter gank. He decided he was just waiting around, biding his time as I Am Anjo gets away with 20 health.
20 health, and he does get away. Dirtnap Gaming still don't pick themselves up a kill.
But Dirtnap Gaming should be able to continue this shove. Don't Mash Me can't hold that lane alone. And since Nintendo X went bottom for that double kill, we could see their second turret take up the game here.
Yeah, we may see Prolly heading up there as well. I can see him starting to make his way north. Could well just take away the raids instead, but regardless, Don't Mash Me has immediately responded and just getting the hell out of there. That's just good map positioning.
It was the smart move. There's no way he could get that. There was an MIA call for sure when Prolly left mid. Shifter said, Kassadin's not even close. He's definitely coming top. But once he comes mid, he makes Shifter's life a pain.
Comes straight back in, gets that burst combo on him. And that is the second turret of the game going down. So Dirtnap Gaming, despite they haven't got 2 kills, they've got 2 turrets.
The big thing they do have to look out for, though, is the last time we saw Nintendo X on Shen, it's him turning into a carry. Like, he really becomes a top lane power Shen after a little bit. With the double kill, he's actually got top gold on his team pretty much. You look at everyone there, 3,100 and 3,200 gold on pretty much every member of GGU. Trying to solo Dragon for a little bit, but JD Wu's not having it.
JD Wu just comes drifting around and says, what are you doing? Seriously? We do see the Hex Drinker on Chris, though, so he's really trying to target against Zion Spartan. He's ready for this 1v1 fight, expecting it to last a long time. Nintendo X does come around. Meanwhile, you can see Dirtnap Gaming on the Dragon there, stood on top of a pink ward. I expect the rest of the team to react here.
The thing is, they have Nunu and Vayne up top with no way of getting down, and 5 members of Dirtnap Gaming. Despite the pink wards, there's no way they wanted to deal with that, so all the objectives coming out from Dirtnap Gaming early.
So the question is, can they react? Can they get back up towards the top here? Echo, you can see, heading straight up there. The turret is pretty healthy, but I don't think they're going to close the gap, so they've basically given up that tower for the Dragon.
And Don't Mash Me actually popped his ultimate on top of the Blood Boil to get the increased attack damage to make sure they got that turret down faster. They thought Dirtnap Gaming was going to be rushing up there to finish it. Either way, though, it's only a 60-second cooldown on Vayne ult, so he'll probably have it back for the next fight. Now, Prolly's team pushing mid as well.
Instead, they stick around, and Echo's reaction time is there, just to dash away the moment Nintendo X came in with the taunt. Great stuff, and that's really the top players that can do that.
It's his comfort level on Graves as well. This is the 3rd game in a row this tournament. All 3 games, really, that he's been playing Graves. He's had a lot of success with him thus far. And interestingly enough, both of the AD carries actually rushing the Bloodthirster, so will we see a static shift next? Not really sure, but They're very close in power right now.
Are we going to see a Warmogs or a Sunfire Cape straight out from Nintendo Dex? Warmogs has kind of been the flavor of the month, I guess, from this tournament.
It seems like it. Even in the OGN League, there's a couple people that build 5 or 6 Warmogs armor. I think they're overrating it a little bit, but it's still an incredibly potent tank item, especially the fact it's just the most safe resistance you can buy, in a sense. You're building armor, magic resist, you're still going to be vulnerable to someone, but if you build health, you're building dual resistance. It's not resistance, it's a survivabilities, I suppose. There is a better word from that.
There is a better word, but it doesn't matter, and we do find that of course, Zion Spartan has gone. Haunting Guy, Sorcerer's Boots, kind of complete that one. He's quite happy there. Meanwhile, Rod of Ages, of course, on Carthus, the Bloodthirster for both AD carriers here. Nobody really going towards the Infinity Edge yet.
You're absolutely right. They do not like that. I mean, the thing that's happened so much with at least people who can't shove is they'll go the Static Shiv. So I'm expecting a Static Shiv coming out next from Don't Mash Me, if anything. And really, we need to keep track of Dirtnap Gaming and whether they can continue to push and assault these turrets. Because if they can get 3 turrets down, especially this mid one, it's really going to allow Prawley to put his presence on the rest of the map with that Cassidon.
You can see GGU have to switch around. This is what they were aiming at. This is why they wanted that top turret down. They condemn Chris on towards the turret. He's just going to keep clearing that wave, but that turret is not going to last much longer. And we do see the switch around. We have got 3 members of GGU heading in towards the middle, probably picking up the blue buff there. Actually, did he mess up the blue? I couldn't quite see it under the skirt. Yes, it is. There it is, the blue buff under there.
Got it.
Very tricky to spot, but he has managed to get it in there. Blue buff also going to be given across the shifter. Is that going to open up enough of a gap for Echo to get on towards that turret? He is doing damage on it right now across the side. There is not much left of it, but he's going to have to be pushed back again.
They're really trying hard to shove this, but you can actually see Shifter and Nintendo coming in a bit from the side. They might look to fight here. There's a wall.
They're going to get on towards Prophet. Prophet is going to get dropped. He has to use his ultimate, but he's going to pop them up. There's no damage coming back, though, and he was just simply caught out with a taunt.
Too much pressure and a good counterplay by Good Game University. They are doing a really good job making sure their key fighters get the farm. In our last set, when we saw that close game between Fear, they were just waiting for Kog'Maw and Karthus to get farmed. It's a very similar thing here where Good Game University is really just looking for Don't Mash Me and Karthus to get farmed as well.
Echo getting taunted out. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, you can see they're going towards Chris. Chris was actually just dancing off at the side there as Don't Mash Me took the turret down. He was quite happy. Kind of knew it was going to go down. There's nothing really he could do about it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they just keep on pushing. Probably having a little poke back and forward. They can't quite get onto that. GGU realize how important that middle turret is. It takes a great big part of vision away, and now we're all square 2-2 in turrets.
Great comeback in a sense. I thought maybe the early pressure from the Lulu and Graves was going to snowball over. They made sure that it didn't. They kept farming up. They got some counter kills. I'd say the double kill that Nintendo Dex picked up spent a huge amount of time towards getting it back. And then they were just persistent. Don't Mash Me and Imanjo just stayed in lanes, waited until windows when Echo and Prophet went to push mid. They took both the side turrets.
Don't Mash Me picking up the red buff. Shifter coming back in to try and defend out this turret. There's a large group from DNG here, all to try and push once again. They have a siege minion. They might be able to get on towards the turret this time.
Will they? But the Karthus wall is just so difficult to push against, and they're fearful that the ganks would collapse in from the sides and Nintendo could go for anything, probably trying to get damage down. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a single gank from JD Wu in all of these 16 minutes. He's had his ultimate for quite some time, but everyone on GGU really just staying in safe positions.
Yeah, they had to back off there. You can see Don't Mash Me got caught out a little bit too deep, and the rest of the team, they're going to start chasing him. Probably might catch him across the side there. Oh, I'm not too sure who would have won that one, but he did go looking for it. But Don't Mash Me had managed to get a lot of health up. They are going to continue pushing it towards this mid turret. Going to get a chunk of damage done on towards the inner. I don't think Good Game University is certainly going to let this one give up. You can see that Shifter is coming back now. They're going to go for it. They're going to get the taunt across. Can they be enough though? You can see Nintendo Dex doing the damage. He's going to start backing out. Shifter finally gets himself in there. The Defile is running. He's going to get some layways down. Of course, he has got Requiem to finish them off here. Prophet taking out low, very low. Prolly comes in. Couldn't get it. He got the Ignite down, but it wasn't enough. We do see one. Don't Mash Me gets the kill. Prolly picked up another. And there's going to be the Carthus ultimate. Requiem should get another. There's one. There's two. Zion Spartan comes in on towards Chris. Chris might have enough to finish him off here. He's got the mana for it. Oh, and he flashes. He failed flash, but he wasn't aware where he went. And Chris pulls him back, baits him back out. And well, Zion Spartan should not have gone chasing for that.
Surprisingly, they pull out a 3 for 2 in all that. I thought it was going to be much worse for Dirtnap Gaming. They kind of went all in. Imanjo escaped early on in that fight with a very small amount of health, and then the assault just kept coming. The defiled Karthus is one of the scariest things you can see when you're a team of squishies. GGU not able to pull off really any successful ultimates, cannot go in through a Karthus because Prawley's not really able to follow with him that well. It's looking pretty good for GGU, even though they messed up the tail end of that fight a little bit.
Dirtmashme continues his farming spree at the top here. Starting to gain a little bit over Echo right now. Just a 10 CS difference, but he's going to start stacking up both identical builds so far. The Berserker Greaves still not quite built, and I wonder if Dirtmashme had those Berserker Greaves in that fight, whether he'd been able to catch and chase someone down.
Might have helped him a little bit. Vayne already gets so much move speed from the Blood Boil, and from the fact that Vayne gets extra move speed while chasing that he probably didn't think he needed them. Getting those early Phantom Dancer, I think, is going to give him more damage in the long run. I think he's alright with that decision.
He's happy with that. Now we do see the Dragon being picked up by Dirtnap Gaming. That is the second one of the game, I feel. He'd go out the gold. He's still very close, and Nintendo Dex getting caught out. The burst from Prawley isn't going to be enough. Chris tries to come in. Chris now exposed. The rest of his team has split away. Chris is going to have to take a lot of the damage. He is pretty tanky though, so he's not too worried about that one just now. But he has managed to have to pop the Ragnarok. So Ragnarok was in use, and as it stands, they're going to continue sieging this turret.
It's going to be tricky. They were in this situation just a second ago. The flash taunt came in from Nintendo. Probably getting a huge amount of poke down. Just doesn't... I feel like it might not be enough, though. They can't really safely get on this without someone getting hit by a snowball. The Karthus wall has such a huge initiation range. But with Shifter being back a bit, they could get this turret down. They're really scared, though. You can see it in them.
He's keeping the silence down on Nintendo Dex as well, and he's just making sure that he keeps not able to put that taunt across the entire team like he did. The first initiation that he managed to pull off in the last fight is when he went diving straight across with that taunt.
I want to see if they can complete some of the big items, though, because the gap exists for Don't Mash Me and Echo. The Phantom Dancer versus just the Zeal. JD Wu needs to complete an Aegis of the Legion at some point. You can see that's what he's going towards, but he's still a fair bit away. Chris needs to get a Frozen Heart. They're just not quite at the aura items they need to be. That is Dirtnap Gaming, and you see it when they team fight. Karthus is too scary. They don't really have the power to fight back with them right now.
Well, Good Game University, they were coming in. They wanted to try and invade for that blue, but probably had just taken it away and back to base. So they pushed in. They fought for the wards. They put 3 wards down to try and get in and get that blue, but it was not there, and it had already gone. So GGU have to reset themselves, figure out what they're going to do, pick up their own blue, of course, and go back and buy. What are we going to start to see here with the items?
So Death Cap is going to be hopefully soon for Prawley, unless he goes for a Deathfire Grasp. Either one of them would actually be a fairly good call. Look across at his AP mid counterpart. Shifters has that Rod of Ages now. It's reached its 10-minute full stack cap, so he's sitting quite pretty. He's going to be looking for a death cap as well, but he's much farther ways away. Surprisingly, this isn't the super farm Karthus we're kind of used to seeing. He's 165 minion kills at 21 minutes, which is about 100 behind the regular Karthus you'd see. Normally, in Season 2, Karthus would be taking Wraiths, Wolves,
23
everything.
minutes Froggen.
23 minutes, 300 CS is the record, and here we're 21 minutes, 165, so it's not even close. That's not as scary of a Karthus as we've seen in the past, but tell that to DNG as Shifter destroyed them in the last team fight.
He did indeed. That defile is still a scary thing, and then you know that the Requiem will follow it up as well. Once you think you've all got away, you think you've escaped, and then out comes those big red beams of light above your head, and you are doomed. As it is, Good Game University back off and not able to push or pressure on towards that mid lane. And is this going to become a problem here? But I just feel that late game, Vayne, Nunu, that's a scary, scary beast, along with the Karthus to back it up.
And this reminds me of the first game we saw today, when Karthus and Kog'Maw got going for Fear. The same thing seems to be happening again, except this time they have Zion Spartan to clean up, and they have the split push capability of Nintendo Dex's Shen to get it there. Just another tool they have. You can see Dirtnap Gaming's really trying to force it. They've been pushing up mid for about the last 10 minutes. They've only gotten the 1 mid tower and about 2/5 of the damage on the next turret, so not going the best for Dirtnap Gaming. They'd have to find a way to initiate in on them, but it's almost like GGU is just a giant immovable object with the way they can't get pushed in for.
There's the turret, it's going down now. Dirtnap Gaming going to fight for it. They're sort of half-heartedly trying to go for this one. Chris has eaten too much damage already, and he's going to have to go back to base. I just feel with the next creep wave that Good Game University should take this turret.
Seems like Chris going back to base. No one really low on Good Game University. No buffs really to be taken. Dragons not up for another minute, 50 seconds. They're absolutely right about this one. I feel like they're going in on this wave.
Yeah, Here we go. Wave comes in. They're just going to follow it through. And there you can see Blood Boiled Up Vein with the Phantom Dancer just poking it down. And there weren't anyone from Dirt Now Gaming who wanted to get a piece of that ball. But Paranoid comes out from GGU, goes very deep. Probably also follows it up. There's the Capitalist Clism. Tries to catch on towards him. Anjo comes out. Requiem's going to hit. Chris is going to be safe here. Echo gets taunted out. Echo flashes away. Prophet's just off at the side and he's baiting the whole team in. Prophet will get popped, but the rest of the team's going to come in. The ultimate gets reset by Prolly. He tries to get in there, tries to burst down Don't Match Me. Echo follows it up. Don't Match Me turns around. He takes down Prolly, but now Don't Match Me is going to escape here. Chris does manage to get the kill on Nintendo Dex, and Anju picks up his AD carry and walks away with him.
So a 3 for 2 on the other side now. We've seen matching fights by both teams. They got the turret, but it's probably going to cost them a turret as well. So close Prolly was to finishing off absolutely everyone in that fight. That was one of the closest, just, I'd say, least amount of total health left on teams, considering 5 people are alive, that I've seen in quite a long time. And that was a good sign for Dirtnap Gaming. That's the first time JD really just decided to go in and see what happened. It looked like he was ahead of everyone else, but it still worked out for them. Hopefully they can pull off a few more Kassadin plus Nocturne combos. Now that Prolly completed that death cap, it might be a little more effective. They have to keep doing that so they don't get bullied around.
Well, we do see a couple more tanky items coming out across the board, and a couple more damaging items as well. Static Shift being picked up by Echo, sorry. Don't Mash Me, meanwhile, he's gone back, got himself another pick, so he's going to be heading towards that last Whisper, and of course, we see the Giant's Belt starting to come out across the board.
A lot of Sunfire Capes going to be completed, or Warmog's Armors. I'm really waiting for Nintendo Dex to get that Sunfire Cape. That's when he's really going to try to kick his split pushing into the next gear. It's going to be on Chris at that point to try to duel Nintendo Dex. He should be able to as a top laner with about 2,000 more gold than Nintendo Dex, so hopefully he'll be able to pull that off. Now, though, it is the Dragon that is up. JD Wu's ultimate still has 25 seconds off before we could see Nocturne's Paranoia there. They're going for the Dragon. If GGU decides to come in, Dirtnap Gaming wants to fight him.
Dirtnap Gaming are in a static position, which would be ideal for Zionspan. As it is, the fights have been very mobile, very back and forward. Zionspan really hasn't been able to get himself in a nice position to get that ulti rolling. Katarina
really hasn't been able to snowball any of these. It's been all about Shifter and Don't Mash Me chasing them down and kind of picking up the kills. Zionspan's getting shut down. Prophet's doing a really good job of making sure he can't get ultimates off, throwing that Lulu Polymorph in at the right times. But now, unfortunately, Echo's stuck top clearing a wave while all 5 members of GGU are pushing bottom. This could be trouble.
They're just going to pile straight in there. You can see the Blood Boil on Don't Match Me. He's just going to hammer down bolts after bolts onto that turret, and he's going to get dropped. Echo now backing off, but that was great positioning by Good Game University. They pick up the Dragon, just move on round and say, well, you know what? Echo's just showed himself at the top. We could just go straight in and take it.
That's the price that Dirtnap Gaming paid for getting the Dragon. They realized that creep wave was approaching in the top lane. They knew they were going to have to send someone to clear that. Dragon in a tower, barely even in gold, but you lose the positioning of the tower. It was a trade-off they were willing to make because Echo got probably a kill's worth of gold from clearing that top wave. It's really just a trade-off both teams opted into.
The Shifter picks up.
Oh, did he steal it?
Bloop. Oh, he did. He got him to come in. JD Wu comes around. Now he's managed to capture draw Sifter. The rest of the team. Echo's coming in there. Paranoid's going to go off, but he's already used the Fear Leash, and the collateral damage is nowhere near enough to do anything. So, but Dirtnap Gaming did manage to come in and get that steal. Clever play from Dirtnap Gaming. Could they respond and take this bottom turret?
They're just trading back and forth objectives. They get the blue. That's going to be huge. And because Karthus is low on health and mana, that's a free turret of their own. 4 turrets to 4 now.
Just straight back and forth action. 4 turrets to 4. The gold still just 1,000 difference between them. 8 to 5 in terms of kills. GGU heading that one off. Prolly, though, trying to get pinned down. There's another turret. Dirtnap Gaming, of course, they've been working so hard, so tirelessly on that mid one. They'd had 4 fights back and forth for that mid turret. They finally got it.
The 15-minute quest was finally completed. Take down second tier mid turret. Let's see if it was worth it, because they spent so much time on that. The fact that they finally got it should mean something. They should be able to capitalize off this in some way, shape, or form. Prolly's now going to get the blue buff for himself. They have that mismatch. Knowing Shifter doesn't have the blue buff from Karthus, they could try some extended sieges. There's 1 outer turret left for GGU, and that's in the top lane. Maybe Dirtnap Gaming is going to try to go for that one next, because they're all about pushing, it seems.
Someone somewhere will be saying, right, please, we need an achievement unlocked for that. And as it stands, Dirtnap Gaming are starting to build up ahead of Steam. They have the gold advantage. We do see the pink ward starting to be cleared out. Anjo has picked himself up an Oracle here. He's kept himself well out of it. 2 wards getting placed out there. Are they thinking of the Baron here?
They're thinking of finding a window to engage. I don't think they think they're far enough ahead to get something, but there's the Oracles. Probably getting caught!
Probably gets caught out and he gets taunted straight away, taken straight down by Don't Match Me popping in there. Absolute Zero coming out just to delay things. Profit split off the side. Chris gets away, but that's going to be Echo down. Profit goes down as well. Don't Match Me and Zion Spartan cleaning up. That is exactly what they wanted.
You pick up the Oracles to get positioning control of Baron. It meant Dirtnap Gaming was worried about where they were going to go. Probably thought he would be mobile enough on Caston to escape anything, but they killed him during the duration of a taunt. JD Woo's going to try to steal this, but I don't think he can get it.
He tries to come in, he's never going to get even anywhere near it. He gets taunted away from it, and they just back completely away from the Baron and return to do the damage, and it will be picked up for the entire team. So, wow, a 4-0 that one fight overextended.
I imagine those Oracles really turning the tide there. They cleared out every single little bit of vision, picked it up.
7-0-2 now on Don't Mash Me. He has got the ideal build. We're going to get a replay, really, of how it all worked, and it was simply Prolly getting caught.
It was a matter of clearing out everything with the wards. Doesn't look like the last fight, unfortunately. Go back to live.
But, I mean,
the fight itself was just 4 members sitting in a brush. All the wards have been cleared. Prolly didn't expect that brush. They got a taunt.
He was just like, I'm going to get a quick peek towards the Baron. Bang, got caught straight out there, no problem. Yeah, I mean, it's a straightforward. And once one of your main carries gets taken down that quick and that hard, everybody else should just disengage. But kind of natural reactions are, I need to defend my teammate, and everyone went in.
Especially since Prolly is generally the guy who calls a lot of the team fight engages for them. Once he goes down, communication lines are lost.
Yeah. Natural reaction comes in, but can he get on towards Nintendo Dex here? The jungler on Shen has taunted and flashed away. Hasn't going to get slow though. Probably didn't quite have the reset cooldown just up yet. And instead, Good Game University are going to continue pushing on the top lane. Of course, Nintendo Dex can keep pushing on that bottom. He has got Stan United to rejoin them.
We got about 2.5 minutes left on this Baron buff as well. They know Prolly just spent a good portion of his mana bottom lane. He won't be able to make it up with his turret defense. Should be another outer taken for GGU.
And there we are, evening things up once again as another inner turret goes down. Good Game University 5-5 in terms of turrets, and the gold stays close, despite the fact there is a Baron currently on Good Game University.
The scariest thing about all this is the fact that Vayne is 7-0-2 and has a Nunu behind him, and he's going completely glass cannon. So that's actually scary for both teams, because if they don't get to Don't Mash Me, if they can't touch him, he will pretty much kill everyone extremely quickly. But because he went for that build, there is the chance he could get picked off if he does something stupid.
Yeah, and with Prolly in there, he's the ideal person to try and despin. If you can get Prolly and JD Woo to combine to dive on towards Don't Mash Me, I'm guessing that's what they're going to aim at. Then yeah, it could well be a scary thing, but of course you're going to be diving in there damn well that Karthus, and you could probably get taunted by Nintendo Dex.
Yep, and the Nintendo Dex ultimate is going to be pretty much reserved exclusively for Don't Mash Me in a team fight scenario, so he's a lot healthier than he looks.
Profit taking a couple of bolts there, and you see immediately how much damage that does do. 12-5 currently in kills, but don't let that fool you. This game is still on a knife's edge. Despite the fact Baron buff is on Good Game University yet, they're still yet to get in and get one of those Baron turrets. Once one of these inhibitor turrets goes down, a Baron turret, that would be an interesting thing to see. I guess that's kind of what it is. It's a standing turret right there. But as it stands, Dirtnap Gaming are going to try and fend this one off. I don't think they're going to go through with this wave.
You can see Nintendo Dex trying to split push mid a little bit against Prolly. That's the right guy to be defending, in all honesty. Prolly can get back quite quickly, can definitely interrupt Nintendo Dex's shield if he wants to teleport in. But the fact that they're taking Prolly away from the fighting means it's going to be very difficult for Dirtnap Gaming to create anything. Nocturne to go in, JD Woo needs a buddy. Otherwise, he will go in and die immediately to Karthus, Nunu, and Vayne. Unless he's going in with Prolly, it's not going to work. But since Prolly's stuck with Shen, they can't do it.
They pinged it. They said, Prolly is here. Reckon you guys could probably push this one. Nintendo Dex is like, I'm fine keeping this guy here. Prolly, he could come in. I see why he's sitting there. He wants to use the Null Sphere to interrupt the Nintendo Dex's Stan United.
He does. And if he did that, it would be fine for GGU, because they're trading a 99 farm jungler for a 244 farm AP mid Kassadin. They're completely fine having that trade happen.
As it is, Nintendo X is going to pick himself up a free dragon, and the rest of the team are going to back away. This has delayed the Baron long enough, though.
I don't think they care. In all honesty, like, they have Nunu Vayne. If he hits 6 items, there's going to be no stopping him. Karthus is getting stronger and stronger. They are in absolutely no rush to do something silly against Dirtnap Gaming. They know what's on the line. I mean, they win 2 games. They're into Season 3. They've practiced a lot against Dirtnap Gaming. They know probably their potential of coming back. They know their own GGU's potential to throw. They're taking this one slow.
Taking it nice and slow. Everybody goes back. Everybody buys. And remember, Good Game University just had quite an extended 4-minute siege there. And we do see the boots, the attack boots actually upgrade coming out on the Berserker Greaves of Don't Mash Me, as well as another BF sword. I expect that to be an Infinity Edge going on there, just to really top off the scariness factor of that 702 Vayne with the Nunu stacked behind him. Graves is simply not going to be able to compete with that.
Not even close at this point. I mean, you just look at the gold. It's 12,700 for Don't Mash Me and 9,950 for Echo's Graves. Then you factor in the absolute gold value from a max Blood Boil, giving 65% attack speed and 15% movement speed. It really just becomes much larger than that already 3,000 gold advantage.
As it is, Nintendo Dex is back down the bottom and farming away, as every good Shen will do. Is just split push away with the Sunfire Cape on and do what you please. The rest of GGU start to stack up. They're going to push in the top and middle lane. As it stands, the middle lane seems to be the target. I would expect it to be the top, actually. Kind of just keep that wave going. I think they're just waiting, try and get that last inner turret.
And if I was Dirtnap Gaming right now, I'd think they're looking for some kind of engage pretty soon. They don't have a split push going. They've waited out the Baron of Good Game University. They know that GGU is just going to get stronger and stronger. If they see a window, I'd expect JD Wu and Prawley to just dive in together. Win or lose, it's probably going to be a disadvantageous fight, but they need to do something.
They're trying to defend Prawley there. Probably getting taunted by Nintendo Dex. The rest of the team were trying to collapse around him, but they were like, no, back away. They are all coming down towards you, and they're just going to go clear that huge wave up the top. Another monster wave of minions for Don't Mash Me to pick up.
They might actually send Zion Spartan up there. He has not really gotten going this game. He's the assist farm, Katarina. And Chris, don't get caught out here.
Has to use the Ragnarok, and you can see Don't Mash Me turns her on. Can he get on towards him? No, he cannot, but Chris had to use his ulti to get out of that.
That's really tough. They really needed Chris's Ghost and Ultimate in a team fight if they wanted to get anywhere near Don't Mash Me. If he doesn't have those spells for a fight, it's not going to happen.
Stan United used. Stan United used there on towards Don't Mash Me. He thought he was in trouble there against Prawley, so that's kind of baited that one out as well.
Interestingly enough, that's a pretty long cooldown for Nintendo Dex. 165 more seconds, so maybe that'll be the trade-off, right? Chris can't ghost into a fight, but Nintendo Dex cannot shield Don't Mash Me's Vayne in a fight as well. But you can really just see the fact that JD Wu has used, I believe, 2 Nocturne ultimates in 35 minutes. It just goes to show how passive GGU has been and how they have not provided appropriate windows for Dirtnap Gaming to engage on them.
Yeah, they've not been able to get in there. Consequently, he's gone very tanky, actually. Tanky Nocturne. Knows damn well he's going to be diving deep with that Bulwark on. Ooh, hello. Prophet's been well out of position here. He has got an Oracle on as well. They're going to try and get it down towards him. Instead, they realize the wards had gone in there.
And have we seen this before? The last time they had the Oracles and they pulled around Baron, this is pretty much how they took control of the game. How is Dirtnap Gaming going to deal with it this time? They got to try to fight soon.
They're going to try and get in there. You can see the poke damage going on towards it. They're going to try and see if they can burst that Oracle down. He has to flash away. And he did manage to escape it this time. They have an Oracle of their own, though, this time, Jack.
Both teams trying to fight for vision. Prophet there.
Oh,
there's the Karthus wall. Ulti as well.
Don't Mash Me has managed to use his ultimate. Can he catch on towards it? He's using it on Chris, though. And Chris probably the most tankiest target on the team. Prawley's going to get caught out there. The Lulu ultimate. And Prawley does manage to pop down Don't Mash Me. Where is the damage now going to come from? Good Game University. It's going to come from Karthus. Prawley goes in. He realizes it's trying to try and get in there. Tried to interrupt it. And Shifter was using it out without dying there.
And even though they picked up Don't Mash Me, JD Wu popped his ultimate and decided against it. He didn't go back in. Once the Requiem came up, they thought they'd already lost the fight. They were going to trade 1 for 1. There was an opportunity to trade 2 for 2. He probably could have went in and killed Karthus, but he decided not to. 1 for 1, but that seemed like the best that DNG was going to do. It's so hard for them to fight GGU right now.
I just feel that JD Wu, I mean, probably basically turned around. The call came late. It was like, he's using his ulti. We can kill him before he uses it.
He tried to just go in and dump as much damage as possible. He couldn't quite get in range to silence the ultimate as well, but it's just a tricky situation. I was really impressed with how quickly he blew up Don't Mash Me, though.
Well, Prophet's Oracle has run out, so he's not been able to clear any more wards, so they are going to go back about their business. Pings go down. Oh, they realize that Prophet is there. Oh, we was teleporting back next to that. Nintendo Dex wanted to just get one blade onto his face to stop him backing off, but it didn't happen.
You can tell Good Game University just yelled at Don't Mash Me and said, why do you have 14,000 gold and no magic resist? Because he died in about half a second to Prawley. Picked up the Negatron Cloak almost immediately. Going to make him even more threatening and dangerous in the next team fight.
Would that be the Mercurial Blade, or is he just going to go straight for Quicksilver Sash, which he's just picked up? It could be the Mercurial Blade.
He's probably going to do whatever he wants with that. The upgrade cost between QSS and BF Sword to Mercurial Scimitar is pretty quick, but if he wants optimal damage, he's going to want to get that Infinity Edge next. So it's going to be a matter of if he wants temporary gain or long-term gain.
We'll see what he does at the moment. And the fact that he was also targeting Chris in that last fight. Chris was happy to take the damage from Don't Mash Me.
Wasn't too happy about it. He had to ghost ult away at the start of that. I mean, Olaf is the person they want to be hitting him, but you need to be going in when you're taking that damage. You can't be running away. Vayne is the Night Hunter. She loves chasing down people. It doesn't matter if you're not hitting her back.
The Night Hunter. You're pulling the lore out now. I like it. Bam. This is we're going to be stepping into new realms of commentating here. We're going to have Jat starting to learn all of the lore of all the champions. He's going to have to bring you lore.
Did you know Graves and TF were rivals?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
As it's done. Graves and TF.
Mm.
I thought it was Graves and Nocturne.
No, Graves and TF.
I did not know that. That's see, I'm learning as I cast.
There you go.
As I often do when I'm alongside you. As it is though, Dirtnap Gaming, they're going to pick up a dragon of their own. And that's going to try and pull the gold a little bit closer. It's 3k gold difference, but that's not a great deal when you're looking at 50,000 plus gold. 40-minute game. We saw a very long first game between Fear and Meat Playground in the last match. I'm losing matches already. Despite the fact that I sat there staring at them for 50 minutes straight. And this is identical.
Yeah, that's the brush that probably got caught in. They're not letting that happen twice. Chris fired that axe in there. It's like, no, not a person. And they were gone. But they're sneaking around the backside. They pinged it, though. They're kind of expecting it, but they still have no vision. They're going to catch him once they come through that brush, or they saw that ward especially.
Oh, they're going to go around straight towards the turret. Are they going to come around the backside?
Ooh, this is forcing a fight.
I was getting flashbacks of Baron as a race there, but instead Chris is going to be the man up front. He wants to take the damage. Don't Match Me again is there. You can see they're just trying to bide the time. And this is a good escape. Are they going to go for it? Probably saying nope. He's going to ulti away, and they're just going to have a little merry dance around the backside there. Well, Good Game University in the perfect position to push on and force the fight. They're saying we're either going to take your inner or we're going to actually force you away and kill you. But instead, it is going to be the inner turret they go for.
Nice maneuvering there. I'm not even sure how they managed to come from behind them to get the turret that they came by. But it's another one, 6-5 now. And you can tell Dirtnap Gaming just doesn't want a piece of them.
They don't want a straight-up fight right now. And why would you? You don't want to get an open fight, especially with a Zion Spartan on Katarina, a Shifter on Cartha says there's a whole lot of ground to cover. You know you're going to have to go through that wall of pain to get there. Literal wall of pain as well.
And this is actually a really bad situation right now for Dirtnap Gaming. That creep wave in the bottom lane is probably enough to take their inhibitor turret, but Echo has to be up there because the Baron is being forced with an Oracles. So the longer GGU can hold off on this, the less time Dirtnap Gaming has to pull something off. They're going straight up mid, trying to force something big to happen. Looks like they're going for Baron.
They're going for Baron. Are they going to react? You can see Dirtnap Gaming now starting to head this way. I expect to see Prolly zipping across. The Baron is going to be gone. The Baron is too slow. Now Dirtnap Gaming completely out of position. Well, Good Game University going to go for this one. They have got a lot of health. They could easily turn this into a fight. Dirtnap Gaming just alongside them. Are they going to engage? They're both stood staring at each other. Nobody wants to fight.
The base is going down. I mean, they're just running for the inhibitor. Good Game University has to just get there. Dirtnap Gaming recalling back.
They're going to get down there in time. You can see the Blood Boil is going to speed up. Shifter's legging it across there. And when I can see that inhibitor turret is going to go down, the first turret of the game. And now they're bound up with a turret down. And now Dirtnap Gaming are thinking, damn it, why did we fight a moment ago? We're going to try and fight. Now they're fighting. This was a safe fight for them a moment ago. They're going for I Am Andro, the last person they want. You can see Don't Match Me. He pops the ultimate, turns it around. Prolly is the target. Prolly gets the Lulu ultimate, but he's going to get caught out. And now they see immediately, that's a great ulti from Echo. Does catch him out. You can see the Requiem come down. Shifter picks up one, picks up two. Zion Spartan gets the reset, comes in, gets another, and Don't Match Me picking up on the fountain there. He does manage to get the kill. JD Wu, the last man standing, but that surely will be the game.
Just the aggression at the end there, Zion Spartan, knowing he needed to take down those guys before they'd be able to stop the final Nexus push. waited too long to engage. It was the story for DripNap Gaming. This looks like the end.
Absolutely great play from Good Game University. Simply tactical maneuver in there. Superb play, and really whoever was making the calls in that fight was fantastic. And we're seeing a belt.
Don't match